What is up, my friends? I'm Toby Wayne, and this is Toby Wayne Studios. Welcome, welcome. Today, I am going to do this video. I went out yesterday and purchased myself a new watercolor brush. Treated myself, thank you very much, to a Winsor and Newton University Series 23. No, Series 233, excuse me. And I've never used this brush before, but I was really digging the way that it was working. I was looking at it yesterday in the store, so I thought I would just buy it and give it a try. So we're going to test it out on this Mr. Bubbles. Here you can see, or maybe you can't see, I've gone in already and I put down my base layer of flesh. Then I put in my little blue veins here, and I've gone in and speckled it with the blue, the same blue that I did the veins in. And I gave it a light, just the tiniest bit of a makeup sponge dab with the watered down reds. And let's see, what else did I do to it? And that's it. So I'm going to just go ahead and start doing the water washes using this brand new brush. We're going to test this out together and see how things go. And first, I'm going to start by getting myself a little bit of red, a red wash. And it's amazing what just one color will do. It's just a very simple red. I got the, I can never pronounce this. Tompete red. Anyway, it's a great red. I really like it. And it's great for just doing straight up washes. It's and also good for the flesh tones, I guess, is to give a little bit of color to the body and the skin, if that makes any sense. And it will, hopefully, here in a few minutes. So here you see I am washing this out real heavy like, and you can't probably see it because I've got the camera focused in for just this range. But with that being said, I get a little bit of the wash on my brush, and I kind of wipe the excess off. And what I'm going to do is very gently, and I also have my brush, my makeup sponge torn, so it's not a crisp, clean edge. It's got a nice stippled effect to it. This is going to simulate modeled skin, which is awesome. So let's just go ahead and try this. I got a little on my brush, and the key here is to be very sparing, very, very sparing. You want to try to not get a whole bunch on your brush. You want to get just enough to where it leaves the just the lightest of a wash, because too much is going to get crazy and it's going to run. But we're just going to dab this here as it goes and blot up any excess. And I'm going to just start applying this in layers, and I'm just going to just pick random spots. I've got these ears that I want to start getting some blood flow to, I guess we could say. Make it look a little bit like it's got some color. And I'm going to do this in all the areas here, the ears, around the nostrils. And I apologize, I'm not 100% used to this brush, so this is an excellent learning experience for all of us involved. And my goal here is to just, again, slowly start to build up those layers. And it's gonna start to take on some life as you see some color start to be added to the sculpture. I just want to go around the eyes. And I'm going to try to keep this in frame because I'm sculpting and trying to keep it, or painting and trying to keep it in frame all at the same time. So forgive me if I get out of frame. I've got a great big camera in my face here. So I'm going to wipe a little bit of that out. Give them around the cheeks a little bit. And what I could do is I could also use my makeup brush or my makeup sponge, and I'm going to show you that here in a second. I went in and speckled this and put these blue, and they're popping pretty heavy right now, but what's going to happen is the more that I add the red washes to it, the more it's going to sink deep into the paint job. So I'm just going to use my dab here, and I'm just going to, my makeup brush and sponge, excuse me, and I'm just going to kind of start to work all around, and I'm rotating this as I'm hitting it. And what's happening is all these high points here are being rotated, so it's leaving a great mottled skin pattern. It's one of my favorite things to do, and it's amazing what you can achieve by just one simple color. And I've talked about this in past videos where you kind of one simple color, very thin wash, multiple layers, and it is amazing what one color can do. You will be quite surprised, my friends. Okay. So now I'm going to start to I'm going to darken up this bulge here, this tumor here on him. And I've got just the lightest bit, and I'm just going to kind of start working around the edges. And very, very, very easy-handed paints. I don't want to go heavy. I want to just lightly apply and very gently work those paints around without leaving heavy streaks. You know how sometimes you get too much water wash on your brush, and then when you go to work around it, it'll smear and start running, and that's no good. So now I'm just applying some color to the areas that I want to be red. And it's important too to get into these little cracks and crevices as well. So I'm going to try to just go as quick as I can here. So I'll get a little bit on my brush, and then I'll just wipe it off on the paper towel. And that gives me a little more control over what goes where. I don't want it all over the place. I want to have control. I'm going to go around this eye, redden this area up, maybe on the cheek, into these little crevices here. So like I said, this is my first time using this Winsor & Newton brand of paintbrushes. So far so good. They sound very proper. Toby, what are you using? I'm using a Winsor & Newton University series. I'm an idiot. So now I just am going to be working my way all the way around the sculpt here. Just hitting those areas. If you get too much paint on your brush, just don't be afraid to wipe it off. And then that will actually absorb. So if you got any paint in any areas that you don't want, you can just wipe off your brush and then touch it in there. And the beauty of these brushes is they just absorb and suck up all the excess water. So good to know, good to know. Now I'm going to go back and make another swipe around this, just darkening up these edges. And I want a nice infected look. So nice reds, swelling. And again, I'm going to go for this one here. Just kind of add these subtle stains and washes as I'm going. And I want to just hit these key parts, like here, 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 maybe here, but I want all the rest of these areas, the flesh tones, to pop. So I'm going to just continually keep darkening as I'm moving along in these reds. Around the nostrils some more. Up inside the nostrils, don't forget that. Around the mouth and the gums and the tongue, we're going to go ahead and kind of start laying those heavy reds down in those areas around the mouth. The blue, I want to say, the blue speckles that I put in, the blue and the red speckles, there's just something about that when you apply the blue speckles to a paint job. For some reason, it just has a tendency to really bring the piece to life. It's really amazing how that works. I don't know how or why. You know, maybe if we just look at our skin, we can see blue specks. I don't know, maybe. I've looked and I didn't really see any blue specks, you know, on my skin, but I'm not normal. So don't use me as a judge. What am I? I don't know. So I'm not sure how well this is going to be showing up here on the screen, but I'm just going to keep adding multiple layers to the areas that I want infected looking. Also, the back of the ears are very important. I noticed that I've studied some store-bought sculptures, and it seems that they always forget the back of the ears. So it's an easy thing to do. It's easy to miss those areas. Okay, and I want to give a little bit of red to this and back here. More up in there. That little spot there. Now I just wiped a bunch of this off, and it again is very controlled. I don't know if you can see how I'm just working my way around that ear. Total control of that watercolor. It's pretty amazing. And these washes are so thin and they're so controlled that they're actually drying as I'm working on it. So I can bounce around and hit different areas and it all blends and ties together. And I don't have to worry about hitting it with the blow dryer because these washes are so thin that I can just work my way around. Okay. I'm going to come up underneath and I'm going to lay this on fairly heavy here. And more nice subtle washes. Hope everybody can see that come into life. I'm really happy with this brush so far. It's very nice. Very good control. I'm just going to kind of keep working multi-layers. And I wanted a real heavy red around this bulbous goiter. I want to really make this kind of almost the focal point. So I'll keep coming back to this and adding multiple layers onto that. Okay. And it's amazing how these washes will just sink all the little details like the little veins, the speckles, they all just kind of start to go deeper and deeper and deeper as the paint job progresses. It's really amazing. I was always in awe of how am I going to make the veins not look so crappy? Like how can I make them look real and natural without you know messing this up? How am I going to do this? You know, and I struggled with it for quite some time, and I just realized, you know, understanding layering, you know, and how layers work, and lots of practice. So one of the things too I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to start kind of lining and giving some shadowing and depth just by hitting into these cracks and crevices here and then just blotting away. So I'm staying concentrated and I'm focused on where I'm applying those lines and all that good stuff, just like I did on the ears and around the eyes and the nose and all that good stuff. Very, very controlled. I'm going to do a little bit into those little facial features. And I can even, if I blot this hard, more of it'll come off. If I lay it on and then just oh so gently, lightly tap it, it'll leave it heavier. So that's just a kind of a technique that you just kind of start to learn over time. See, like I could let that just dry, or I could actually come in and just very gently rotate and work that wash around. And I want to be careful because I don't want to have I guess what would I call those, hard spots where when you put paint down and then you let it dry with a stroke like that, it'll dry and you can see the stroke. So to me that's, you know, I want to try to avoid that as much as possible. So I always go back and blend very gently with my makeup sponge, and once it does dry, I can come back and very gently start to add more and more subtle washes to it, and that will kind of help blend it all together. So this is a pretty heavy vein right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of come in, I'm going to lighten up my wash here, and I'm going to very gently come back over it with my makeup sponge, and it's pretty heavy right there, so I'm just going to dab it off, and then I can come back and I can start to just hit over that area, and I can control where I'm hitting those spots at. And this is again where the modeling comes into play with the makeup sponge. This nice texture here. Rotate, always rotate, keep rotating. And you can achieve, you know, your heavier spots too by just, you know, hitting, rotating, spinning around the ears, around the edges, and just keep hitting those spots. Seems kind of boring. I bet some of you may be thinking like, wow, he just keeps doing the exact same thing over and over and over. Yep, that's how it works. So my buddy Michael over at Ermone Custom Models asked me the other day, why do I use tin foil? And out of pure laziness, Michael, pure laziness. I could use a paint palette, but then I would have to take the time to clean it, and I can just throw this away. I know I'm a terrible environmental conscious person, so sorry, Michael. But yeah, I should probably get a nice paint palette, and I think I may have one around here somewhere. But again, it's just I've become so lazy. You know, it's just easier to throw it away than it is to wash it out. So humble apologies, my friends, for not being a very earthy person. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to flow right in the under the chin, in these little crevices, because what's happening is the paint is now hitting all the high spots, but now it's leaving all the cracks and crevices untouched. So I want to very gently go in and hit those areas so that they're not going to be left without color. And gonna dab that. I'm gonna hit inside this ear. So one of the other techniques that I really like to use, and it's a little hard on brushes, but I think that it's great for getting all the good color that you want in a very strategic pattern, is I like to get a little bit of the paint on the tip of the brush, and then I will use this actually as in a dabbing motion, and it smashes the tips of the brushes, which that's not good for your brush, but boy, it sure makes a great pattern. And that's just doing that nice dab. You can dab around and control. This is a brand new brush, so the brush bristles are not as broke in as say this brush here, which I have used. You can see it's pretty banged up, and I can come in and see how it's flared out compared to this one here that's brand new. So depends on if I want to, how I want to do it. But I can come back in and very gently with this used brush hit these areas here, and it will do this fantastic little pattern. And again, I'm rotating as I'm dabbing it on there, and that is just making these beautiful little broken blood vessel, splotches, which is just amazing. I love it. It looks so good when you get a close-up shot of it. So I can come back in and I can go back around and hit these areas underneath. Now let's see here. Maybe I'll hit up top. And I think I'm gonna just oh so gently start to do a slight wash over this, because see, this area is untouched where we've got lots of nice color here. So I'm going to very, very gently with a very light wash kind of just go in and start to work my way around. Okay, so see now how this is running? Now watch what happens when I take my brush that I wipe off. I just touch it and it just absorbs all of that. So it's not even there anymore. Okay. I'm coming in with a little heavier red, and I'm touching up on that tongue now and those gums. Okay, so now I'm just gonna keep working my way around this sucker, darkening as I go. And it's really up to what look I'm trying to achieve with the number of layers. I mean, you can see I've only added one color. That's it. And look how much it's starting to take some life by just the simple color, one color of the red that I can't pronounce. I'm terrible. I'm terrible. Oops. And I just threw my brush, my makeup sponge, into my red paint. Oh, Lord. That's going to leave a mark. So hopefully that won't mess me up, because that's going to be pretty sucky now that I guess I can kind of come in and dab it, or I can get a new one. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to come back with just the makeup sponge, and I'm just going to hit those high points of all the reds, all those areas that I really wanted to stand out. Okay, so see there I got a little too much red because this edge has soaked up all that color. So I got to be cautious of that side now. Or it could totally ruin the paints. Totally ruin the paints. All right. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put one quick little wash over on this piece, and then I'm going to end this video because I don't want it to go too terribly long, but I just wanted you guys to see this, how these red washes work. Again, going back over everything one last time with a nice red. See around his eye there? See how heavy that is? I'm going to come back in and just vacuum all that up. Gone. Very, 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 very easy to control. Hit the up under the base of the skull. And I think I'm going to call that good. Nope, I lied. I'm going to do one more pass around this. See how that works? And I could spend another hour, 2 hours just doing washes if I wanted. Really up to me. Depends on, you know, what I'm digging, what I'm not liking. Yeah, so I hope this video helps. I just wanted to give a nice shout out to Winsor and Newton University Series 233. I really dig this brush. This is an 8, brush size 8. I'm going to put the links to this brush in the description below. That way, if you guys are interested, you can hit that link and it'll take you to Amazon and you can pick up this brush for yourselves. Winsor and Newton. I'm very impressed. I like this very much. But anyway, thank you guys so much for checking out this video. I appreciate you, and I hope that this helps you in your artistic endeavors. I'm going to just keep painting this guy, and we're going to see kind of where I go with it and how far I get, and maybe I'll do another video. But anyway, I just wanted you guys to see this. Thank you for all the new subscribers, too. I truly appreciate it. You guys are awesome. And as usual, I will catch you, my friends, in the very next video.